Hi, how's it going everyone? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, be sure to check out some of my other videos, and if you like the content, be sure to subscribe and like for more. So OfferZen recently published their South African Developer Report for 2022, and one of the highlights from the report was that TypeScript is picking up and becoming more and more popular in South Africa. So I decided to do a TypeScript series for those who are looking to get started with TypeScript. And later in this series, I'll also go over using TypeScript with React. So what is TypeScript? Simply put, TypeScript adds static typing to your JavaScript code. And with statically typed languages, you get to define your variable types. So JavaScript on its own is a language that is dynamically typed, meaning that you don't need to explicitly declare your variable types. So before we begin, let's take a look at two projects side by side. On my left, I have a TypeScript file opened, and on the right is a normal JavaScript project. So on my left, as you can see, I have an addition function which accepts two parameters, A and B, and both of these parameters have to be numbers. So if I try to pass a string, for example, let's say my 3 was a string, TypeScript would automatically return an error saying string is not assignable to parameter of type number. But if I do this in my normal JavaScript, I don't get any error being passed, and I'll only come across this issue or face an issue with this line here, or line 5, once I actually run the application later on. So that's the beauty of using TypeScript. So I hope that gives you an idea of what TypeScript is and some of the benefits of using it. TypeScript was first introduced by Microsoft in 2012, and it has since been widely adopted by several companies, including Airbnb, Slack, and Google. And as previously mentioned, the OfferZen report indicates that TypeScript is growing in popularity in South Africa. Throughout this series, we'll cover type definitions, interfaces, unions, custom types, classes, and eventually look at using TypeScript with React. For today, let's start off by installing TypeScript and setting up our first TypeScript application. So to get started, let's head over to npm and install TypeScript. So we'll copy the installation command, and then we'll just paste that in. And this will also install the TypeScript command line tool. So I already have TypeScript installed, and we can check the version that has been installed by using the command line tool. So we'll just type tsc -- version, and then you can see the version that I've already got installed. And then I'll just open this folder in my VS Code, and then here we'll create a new file. We'll just call it index.ts, and then here let's go ahead and create our addition function that we had. So we'll create a variable called add, and then this will be A and B, and then we'll define the type for both our parameters. In this case, it will be number. And then same for A, it will also be number. And then we'll just return the sum of the two. So A plus B. So now if I call my add function, I can just say add 1 and 2. If I try to pass any other value for, or any other type rather, for these two parameters, let's say hello world. So if I try to pass a string for any of these two, you can see I'm already getting an error saying string is not assignable to type, to parameter of type. So I'll need to just switch back and make it a number. And then we can also maybe create another variable here. We'll create a variable called username, and this will be a string type. Then we'll pass the value of our username, just say Shalom. And if I try to maybe call username dot something, for example, so dot get name, as you can see, I'm already getting an error as well here saying get name does not exist on type string. Yeah, so that's the beauty of TypeScript. We were able to set up our first application, and now TypeScript itself, the TS file, won't run in the browser. What we need to do, if we had an application here, so if we had like an index.html file, we wouldn't be able, or it wouldn't work if we just reference like index.ts. What we need to do is transpile this code into normal JavaScript. And to do that, we can simply head back in here. We'll just need to run tsc and then we pass along the name of the file that we want to transpile. So in this case, it will be index.ts. So as you can see, we have the index.js file being generated, and that code is then transpiled into normal JavaScript. And let's first delete this. So if we want to watch the changes in our file or our application here, what we can do, we can run the same command, tsc index.ts, but then we pass along the watch parameter. And then this will transpile our code so that every time we make changes in our index.ts, those changes are then reflected live. So that's how you'd go about setting up your first TypeScript app. In the next video, we'll go over the tsconfig file and go over type definitions. Hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Cheers.